Bye. Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
The best things in life come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, 2 months free. All with fast, reliable, nationwide coverage. Make the switch today.
We're tremendously excited.
Happening now.
Higher pay for council members and longer terms. Those are some of the proposed charter amendments that you could be asked to decide on in November. But right now, council members still having a hard time figuring out the finer details.
The thickest part of the Saharan dust is moving out, so focus turns to the heat into the upcoming weekend. Plus, could we see an isolated chance for rain return ahead of early next week? We'll get you those details in a few.
What some top Democrats are saying about Donald Trump's remarks at the National Association of Black Journalists convention. And we're hearing reaction from Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance. The News at 5 starts right now. And first at 5, how much should your city council member be paid? And how long should they stay in office? Those are questions that San Antonio voters will answer this November.
City Council is preparing to put those issues onto the ballot, along with other issues of city manager pay and also allowing city employees to take part in local political campaigns. So you're likely going to see them when they pop up on your ballot as charter amendments. As City Hall reporter Garrett Berger reports, leaders are still ironing out those finer details.
After months of Charter Review Commission meetings and a council discussion in June, the San Antonio City Council is zeroing in on what charter amendments it wants to put before voters.
In order for us to call an election, we've got to find the sweet spot that everyone is comfortable with. Council and mayor salaries have stayed the same since 2015. The Charter Review Commission recommended raising them to $80,000 and $95,000 respectively, and adjusting them in the future based on city employee raises. Council's now considering a smaller salary bump, though, up to $58,000 and $73,000, and tying future raises to the area median income. There is still disagreement over whether it's enough or too much, and whether there's a better scale to which to tie future raises.
County commissioners get paid over $100,000 a year.
I do not believe our city council should receive any pay raise.
Mayor Nuremberg thinks there is at least consensus that future raises should be indexed to something.
You look at where there's a probably happy middle ground consensus forming, it's on AMI.
There was also disagreement on how to handle a switch from 2 to 4-year terms. There were numerous comments about whether to allow current council members to serve up to 10 years as a transition measure, as currently proposed, and whether to stagger new 4-year terms, which was not recommended.
I think that the possibility of a whole new council is scary.
I do completely disagree with council members serving 10 years if it's not going to be consistent. I believe that they should max out at 8 years and have a special election to fill the seat.
Today was just discussion. Council members won't vote to put these items on the ballot until next week. And then in November, it'll be up to you. I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
The city of Natalia, southwest of San Antonio, was under a boil water notice because of low water pressure. The 1,300 people who live there are being told to boil their water before using it for drinking, cooking, washing your face or hands, or brushing teeth. City leaders there say they will let people know when things go back to normal. You can find advice from the CDC for boil water advisories right now on our website at KSAT.com.
Right now, 3 Americans who have been imprisoned in Russia are finally coming home. They're just some of the people being released in what President Joe Biden is calling the largest prisoner swap since the Cold War. As ABC's Perry Russin reports, this deal has been in negotiations for months.
3 Americans once held in Russian jails, now free. The 3 plus 1 legal U.S. permanent resident, all part of the historic prisoner swap.
Now, their brutal ordeal is over, and they're free.
Among the released are Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan. Gershkovich is a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, convicted in Russia 2 weeks ago of espionage, an allegation he strongly denied.
This was a fast, secret, and completely bogus trial. Everything about it was a sham.
Whelan is a former Marine, convicted of espionage in Russia in 2020. He too strongly denied the allegation.
The deal that made this possible was a feat of diplomacy and friendship. Multiple countries helped get this done. They joined the difficult, complex negotiations at my request, and I personally thank them all again.
8 Russians are being sent back in the deal, including Vadim Krasikov, a Russian hitman. He was convicted of murder in Germany for shooting and killing an opponent of the Kremlin. Today at the White House, Biden standing side by side with the families of the now freed Americans, including the daughter of Alsu Kurmasheva. Her 13th birthday is tomorrow.
Now she gets to celebrate with her mom. That's what this is all about. Families able to be together again, like they should have been all along.
There are still Americans being held in Russia, including Mark Fogel. He is a teacher. A senior administration official says they absolutely wanted to bring him back, adding it just wasn't going to happen. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Today, family, friends, and leaders gathered in Houston to celebrate the life of U.S. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. The Congresswoman passed away almost 2 weeks ago at the age of 74 after her battle with pancreatic cancer. Today, more than 24 prominent leaders, advocates from politics, religion, social justice, and civil rights, and more spoke at Fallbrook Church to commemorate her life. You see there, Vice President Kamala Harris was one of those speakers who said the Congresswoman was a force of nature and understood the privilege and obligation and nobility of public service.
Switching gears now, we want to give you a live look at our roadways at this hour, 5:03 right now. And this is pretty typical considering it's rush hour right now. That's I-35 at New Braunfels. That's 35, the southbound lanes that you see there at Maine. And that's I-35 at San Marcos. Yeah, it's busy, but traffic is still flowing. Nothing major to tell you about. Now, while we're speaking of traffic, you can expect some near the 1604 and I-10 interchange on the north side this weekend. TxDOT is saying that there are going to be nightly closures beginning tomorrow night through early Monday morning. This is all part of the Loop 1604 North Expansion Project. Some areas along westbound I-10 and both directions of 1604 are going to be closed from 9 p.m. tomorrow through through 5 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. The main lanes of eastbound I-10, those are going to remain open. Crews are going to be working on those flyover ramps, and we have information on the detours that you can take over on KSAT.com. So that takes care of the traffic for this weekend, but how about the weather? Well, meteorologist Mia Montgomery joins us now for that.
Everybody's going to be cranking up the AC, that is for sure, because our first full weekend of August is going to be very typical for this time of year. We know that that just means hot with highs near 100 degrees, and that's exactly what places like Del Rio and Eagle Pass have been dealing with this Thursday. 97 in Floresville, 94 in Leon Springs, 95 near Windcrest, same over in Bulverde, 96 the current temperature over there in Shorts in Jim's backyard. Now, if you're stepping out for any evening plans, do know that it is still going to be hot over the next several hours. 90 degrees by 9 p.m. Mostly clear skies. We'll start to see those thermometers fall into the 80s after the sun goes down. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow, less hazy. This plume of Saharan dust now moving out of south central Texas, still hot and still humid. This weekend, highs near the triple-digit mark, heat indices even hotter than that thanks to that moisture in place. Wish that we had better chances to kind of squeeze out some of that moisture and make some rain. Just an isolated potential, especially late on Sunday. So we're going to get you a full look at all of those details in your weekend forecast coming up in just a few.
The former President Donald Trump not backing off controversial comments that he made at the convention for the National Association of Black Journalists yesterday. He questioned his opponent's ethnicity, falsely claiming that Vice President Kamala Harris adopted a black identity only a few years ago. CNN correspondent Julia Benbrook takes a look at how allies and critics are now responding.
While speaking at the National Association of Black Journalists convention on Wednesday, former President Donald Trump drew a strong reaction from the crowd. He falsely claimed Vice President Kamala Harris had suddenly adopted a black identity.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always. Later in the evening, during an appearance at a black sorority convention, Harris, whose parents immigrated from India and Jamaica, dismissed Trump's comments.
And let me just say, the American people deserve better.
On the campaign trail, Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, who has a wife with Indian heritage and biracial children, defended the former president.
What he said I thought was hysterical. I think he pointed out the fundamental chameleon-like nature of Kamala Harris.
Several Democrats quickly slammed Trump's remarks.
I think this is such a familiar playbook for Donald Trump to try to distract and divide our nation.
He's certainly afraid to lose an election to her in November, and he's afraid about his own future.
Both presidential candidates were invited to speak at the convention where Trump made these remarks. He noted Harris's absence during the event.
In a statement, NABJ said that Harris offered to address the group virtually after the Democratic National Convention because her schedule could not accommodate an in-person or virtual appearance this week. The group is working with the Harris campaign to get something on the calendar. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Now back here at home, last week we mentioned that Acadiana Cafe was sold and it's going to reopen under new management, but as a Mexican restaurant this time. If you've ever been to that Cajun-style restaurant, you've probably seen the military room. You know, it's taken a life of its own. The names of people are etched in the walls. So we asked, what's happening to that room once the restaurant changes?
The people that bought the building, they're dedicated to preserving all of this and even expanding on it.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I was worried about that.
It's going to be maintained as it is, and it's going to be even expanded on.
All right, awesome. That's good news. I'm glad. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first at KSAT 12, on site at Acadiana Cafe.
Love that. And that was our friend Patty Santos doing that interview. You can watch the full story right now on KSAT.com. And by the way, if you want to visit Acadiana Cafe one more time before it changes, you have through the rest of the month. The last day the cafe will be open is August 29th.
Still to come here on the News at 5. If you have student loans to pay off, keep an eye on your email. Information is going out to certain borrowers about the Biden administration's latest student debt relief plan.
Plus, if you plan to travel with your four-legged friend, well, you need to know about the CDC's new rules, what dog owners need to know about flying with their pets.
Coming up on the News at 6 tonight, a jury sees photos of a mangled car after a deadly wreck. And today, witnesses describe what they saw leading up to that crash in 2022. Daniela Ibarra takes us inside the courtroom for day 2 in this manslaughter trial.
Plus, all that rain we got last month was awesome for the agricultural industry. So we visited a local hay farm to see how they're doing after this summertime rain.
And a special back-to-school edition of Doc Talk. We're taking your viewer questions about back-to-school health straight to a local pediatrician to get some answers. That doctor will join us today on the News at 6. If you are a student loan borrower, keep an eye out on your email. The Department of Education says that beginning today, roughly 25 million borrowers with at least one outstanding federally held loan will get some information in an email. 4 groups are part of this latest effort. Borrowers whose debt has grown, even though payments have been made for years or even decades, plus those who took out undergrad loans on or before July 1st, 2005, those who took out graduate loans on or before July 1st, 2000, and those who qualify for debt forgiveness but never applied for it. The Biden administration's latest student debt relief plan is expected to take effect in the fall, but this plan is not final yet, so some adjustments could still be made.
Think about this. You need to know about the CDC's new rules if you're traveling with your pets. These new regulations are aimed at preventing the spread of rabies. The CDC says that all dogs entering the U.S. have to appear healthy upon arrival, be at least 6 months old, and also be microchipped. Pet owners also have to have a receipt that shows that a dog import form was submitted on the CDC's website. There are also additional requirements based on where the dog has been in the last 6 months and whether it was vaccinated in the United States. We know that this policy has already been causing confusion and headaches for a lot of travelers, so you'll probably want to see them for yourself to see which rules apply to you, your dog specifically. You can visit cdc.gov.
Okay, we hear a lot about AI. A lot of people use voice recognition technology, things like talk to text or our smartwatches. But sometimes Siri and ChatGPT, they don't always understand us.
Yeah, an interesting survey was released by a language learning platform. It's called guidetofluency.com. So it lists the 5 most misunderstood accents by AI. And a Texan accent makes that list.
Yeah, take a look at that list.
Okay.
Coming in number 1, the Southern accent, which we all know that's different than a Texan accent. Number 2 is the New York accent. Number 3 is the New Jersey accent.
New Jersey, yeah. A Texan accent comes in at number 4, as you can see there, and the Boston accent rounds out the top 5. I should say the Boston. New York, here's my theory on that. I think it depends on the speed in which you speak, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's because I can understand if you're a New Yorker and you speak very quickly, sort of like this, that could be a little jarring to AI.
Yeah, you're familiar with the New York accent.
The New York and the Boston, yes.
I want to know what Texan accent we're talking about. Because are we talking East Texas? Are we talking West Texas?
Yeah, that's true.
Are we talking South Texas?
That's true. It's totally different.
We have a variety here. Right?
Yes, we do.
I think Mia would agree with us.
I would totally agree. And I have a feeling that a common thing you would find no matter what part of Texas is probably just the use of y'all in every single sentence.
I will say, my phone does understand y'all.
Does it?
I think I have trained it enough in my talk to text.
That's good.
Siri has picked up what I'm trying to put down.
Siri knows. Siri knows. That's great. All right, as we look outside with live cam, still a little bit of haze out there heading into this Thursday evening, but this big plume of Saharan dust that we've been talking about for the past several days, it's starting to work its way out of our viewing area. So less of a haze is expected tomorrow and even more so into the upcoming weekend. I do want to show you, though, some KSAT Connect photos that came in. This one of the sunset yesterday. You can just see kind of that hazy, milky look out there on the horizon. This one sent in from our friend Skywatcher, and you can actually see some of the sunspots out there with that photo. That's pretty fascinating as well. And then this one, of course, from our friend Taylor McClellan out there in the Woodlawn Lake area, even got some ducks there in the foreground as well. So a little bit more of that orange hue. You can see as we take a look back outside with live cam right now. This is the camera at the intersection of 410 and I-10 looking back towards downtown. You can see it a little bit, but we do have that haze still out there. The good news is, as this concentration gets a little bit lighter and lighter, air quality not as bad as what we were dealing with this time yesterday, just in the moderate category, and it's likely going to stay there into the upcoming weekend. So that's good news as well. And you can see as we take a look at the forecast for this Saharan dust, it pretty much moves out by tomorrow. We catch more of a break, so you'll likely notice more blue in the sky by Friday afternoon. But then we see a little reinforcing push of that move back in from the north this weekend. Again, concentrations, though, still pretty light as we look ahead to the back half of the weekend and even early next week. So now the focus turns to the heat. Very typical for this time of year. We're going to start off in the upper 70s first thing tomorrow morning. The humidity is in place, so the cloud cover is going to build back in to kick off the day as well. I think we'll see that break up and scatter out just a little bit more. All ready for any lunchtime plans. More sunshine taking back over. A temperature around 90 degrees expected at noon, and then upper 90s into the afternoon. Notice your feels like temperatures, though, close to about 105 to even 106 here in town. So because of all of that moisture in place, do know that it is going to be very hot out there in the afternoon. So take breaks and stay hydrated. Upper 90s for many of us. I think west of I-35, we could find a few triple digits to round out the work week. 101 in Sabinal, 101 as well over in Utopia. In terms of your actual air temperatures on Saturday here in the Alamo City, we've got a forecast high around 100 degrees. Mostly sunny, feeling even hotter than that, though. Into Sunday, right around 99, partly cloudy skies, and that's also when we're going to be monitoring for the potential to see a few isolated storms working from the north, specifically by Sunday evening. So let's talk about that setup. High pressure and control right now. Not a whole lot going on across the state of Texas besides that dust. That high pressure system, though, is going to work farther off to the northwest, nearing the Four Corners region this weekend. We're going to introduce an isolated 10% chance for a stray storm late Saturday, specifically across the hill country, and then a slightly better potential as we get into late Sunday, about a 20 to 30% chance. So better chances will reside across our far northern counties, specifically the hill country, but we'll see if we can't find an isolated lingering storm make its way closer to San Antonio. Again, most of us likely going to miss out, and I wish we could see a little bit more because even into next week, it's just going to be very dry and very hot.
Yeah, that looks like August.
Yep, it certainly does.
All right, thank you, Mia.
Yep. And of course, it's always uncomfortable to talk about that when you're talking about football, right?
Yeah.
But we're getting ready for that. Now, you just came back from training camp, which I love because you get all the stories and all the scoop back there. So you got a story about Cooper Beebe and what he was doing to prepare for the camp. And I thought it was pretty neat.
Right. So after mandatory minicamp was wrapped up and they had that long break before training camp, Cooper Beebe would go out into the backyard and hike the ball to his mom. So mom helping him out. We've got that video coming up. Plus, it is NFL preseason game day. The Texans are ready to play some football. Coming.
You guys all see who play on Thursday. I'm not going through a list of who's playing, who's not playing.
And we will find out who's playing for the Texans tonight in less than 2 hours in Big Board Sports. Dallas Cowboys rookie offensive lineman Tyler Guyton is a big dude at 6'8", 322 pounds. That's part of the reason why the Cowboys drafted him, with the thoughts as well of making him their next great left tackle, like Tyron Smith, who left for the New York Jets. During padded practices, Guyton has faced Micah Parsons, and at times he's held his own.
Yeah, it's great work, obviously. Yeah, I mean, he can't get enough of it. Yeah, he's doing some good things. But I think he's, just like a lot of these rookies, it's going to see how it keeps coming at him. But yeah, I thought he had some nice reps against Micah.
All right, here's a cool story. Rookie offensive lineman Cooper Beebe, who's fighting for the starting center job, got ready for training camp by holding practice sessions and snapping the ball to his mom in their Kansas City backyard, with his dad secretly filming it.
I got to give a shout out to my mom. During that break, she filled in that quarterback for me, and she was taking snaps, on her lunch breaks. So, I got to give a shout out to my mom for that one.
Okay, so what, you go in the backyard?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, right in the backyard. She's, silent count. She's getting the leg. She's getting the here we go. And, I got her in tune, and, she's been helping me out. She's a big, reason, I got my snaps in her.
All right, her saying, here we go. That was pretty cool. The 2024 NFL preseason gets underway tonight with the Houston Texans facing the Chicago Bears in the Hall of Fame game. Texans great Andre Johnson will be enshrined on Saturday. And while the preseason is now just 3 games, the Texans and Bears will both get an extra preseason game because of the Hall of Fame contest. And Texans head coach, he likes it.
Yeah, I'm excited about the extra game. I think it really helps us. It helps the younger guys who normally probably wouldn't have got as many reps. So I think this 4th game really helps them this time around. And if they take advantage of it and they do it the right way, but they can get that first game jitters out of the way. And it's exciting, man, to be the only game on, right, the first game of the 2024 season, the Hall of Fame game. It's an honor for us to be playing in this game.
Bears and Texans will go down tonight at 7 here on KSAT 12, the Hall of Fame game from Canton, Ohio.
Okay, exciting stuff. Thank you.
Yep.
Shout out to Beebe's mom.
Exactly, right? Isn't that cool?
Dedication.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
All right, tomorrow going to be another hot one out there. Again, starting off in the upper 70s, a high near 98 degrees here in San Antonio. Feeling like 106 thanks to the humidity in place. Some morning cloud cover leading way to afternoon sunshine. Near 100 this weekend with an isolated chance for rain, especially late Sunday. More of the same into next week. Got a lot more to talk about on the news at 6, especially when it comes to the tropics. So we'll get you those details.
All right. Thank you, Mia.
Thank you for watching the news at 5.
World News is next. We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock.